Kelly here, former crack addict, recovery coach, and Life Beyond Sobriety. That is my private online community for people in addiction recovery who want to set big goals now that they're sober and make those goals happen. We learn strategies in weekly live coaching sessions to make those things come true. Go to lifebeyondsobriety.com and check it out.
Big arms and pirates save America. Big arms and pirates chopped down cherry tree with George Washington. Big arms and pirates beat the British in Revolutionary War. Big arms and pirates built the Continental Railroad. Big arms and pirates won the Civil War. Big arms and pirates save America. Big arms and pirates discover electricity. Big arms and pirates made the first flying machine. Big arms and pirates saved the world in World War I. Big arms and pirates saved the world in World War II. Big arms and pirates save America. Big arms and pirates marched with Martin Luther King. Big arms and pirates landed on the moon with Neil Armstrong. Big arms and pirates saved America. Big arms and pirates shot guns with Ronald Reagan. Big arms and pirates smoked weed with Bill Clinton. Big arms and pirates played basketball with Barack Obama. Big arms and pirates made money with Donald Trump. Big arms and pirates took naps with Joe Biden. Big arms and pirates save America. Big arms and pirates save America. Big arms and pirates save America. Big arms and pirates save America.
Hey, it's Kelly here, former crack addict, recovery coach, and Life Beyond Sobriety. That is my private online community for people in addiction recovery who want to set big goals now that they're sober and make those goals happen. We learn strategies in weekly live coaching sessions to make those things come true. Go to lifebeyondsobriety.com and check it out 2 weeks for free.
Yo, what's good, y'all? What's going on? Welcome to Ox and Pirates America. This is episode 5. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Just a simple housekeeping. I want to remind y'all that you can't buy energy. You got to get some sleep. That's a shout out to my man Breezy. Look, y'all, like the video on the way in so you don't got to like the video on your way out. You might forget, you know what I mean? Like, share, subscribe, do all the good stuff. Do all the good stuff. Pirate, what's the word?
Loving the intro. W crack, W America, or L crack, L crack, L crack, W America.
Right. L crack, W America. We once again, just like every school year, we're faced with the same thing over and over again. We've recently had another school shooting where, if I'm not mistaken, 4 people were killed and a bunch more were injured. Seems like this happens in America more often than in the other country. Was there a reason for that, Pirate?
Well, probably a couple of reasons. We are a very big country, so that should be kept in mind. We have 350 million people, you know, so we're basically, it's like if you added up everything that happened in Europe. But then also we are, we have our Second Amendment. And we have more. I think we have more guns per person than at least any industrialized state. Maybe any country at all. But I got to think some South American countries maybe got more, but yeah, we got a lot of guns, man. We got a lot of guns. So I mean, it's obviously tragic,
Right.
whenever it happens, but it is a large country, so
Probably if there was a task force put together,
yeah.
let's say the president and let's say all the governors around the country, and they put together a task force to stop school shootings. That was the main objective. This task force main and only objective was to protect our babies when they go to school. And they said, you know what, Pirate? We want you to lead this task force. We want you to be the head of the snake, the head of the monster that stops school shooting and any other violence of this proportion at schools. I mean, there's going to be fights. We can't get around that.
Right.
But any type of gun violence on school campuses, we want you to stop that. We want you to end it. How would you do that?
Well, I don't believe I could end it, because I mean, if you say end, that's absolutely zero, right? I think that's virtually impossible. But I think the best way to mitigate it would be just additional security, additional security guards at schools. You know, some states, some politicians are looking at the idea of arming teachers. Yeah. I don't know where I land on that. It seems like maybe if you had some kind of thing where teachers go through classes, not every teacher has a gun, but with a lot of these things, it's just if you have the fear of security, oftentimes that'll mitigate violence. Like, I know you're in Oregon, right? You're in Oregon. I'm in California. You've lived in California too, right?
Yeah, I grew up in California.
Yeah, but a lot of these other states, like Texas, and I've spent a fair amount of time in Texas. You go to like Texas or Florida, just the knowing that anybody could have a gun seems to kind of mitigate a lot of potential issues. Like you're not going to stop everything, but yeah, I would say security. Raising security. I think there should be more armed guards around more schools. Would be my.
What if they were to do something like a program for cops that are about to retire? You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Cops that are like at their 20 or whatever, and they're like, you know what? I probably got a year or two left. It's like, okay, maybe you could spend your last 2 years at mostly high schools. You know what I'm saying? Maybe put, I don't know, especially the bigger ones. I don't know, something like that. I would prefer if it was somebody, not just some random security guard, like, hey, get your gun license and do that. I prefer if it was a police officer, you know what I'm saying, a cop, maybe with a good track record that hasn't had much incidents, you know what I'm saying, with the community. And, we know that they're not really a power trip type, but just there just to,
I love that. And even like you see some kind of programs around the country where it's like fathers of the kids at schools, because they have a vested interest. And so I've definitely seen some of those where it's like part-time fathers kind of patrolling the schools. A little bit, kind of like a PTA, but like a team PTA. get the concerned fathers, because there are a lot of fathers out there. I'm sure if you got a high school of 1,000 kids, you probably got at least like 20 or 30 dads who would be down to spend a little bit of time to.
And you would have those guys armed.
I would. I mean, I'm a pretty big Second Amendment guy. I think everyone should be armed, Bob. Everyone should be armed all the time.
I think anybody that wants to be armed and anybody that's responsible, a practicing gun user, safe, and those gun safety is very key to me. I'm very big on gun safety.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's the most important thing. Like some people don't need to have guns because they think it's a toy. A weapon, a gun is not a toy. So I'm all for you, you know, practicing your Second Amendment rights. But the most important thing is gun safety for me all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
but I do believe an armed society is a polite society.
Potentially. My thing is just that the bad guys got guns. So, and no matter what the law is, bad guys are always going to have guns. So, I'm 100% for. I'm 100% for civilians having guns. You know, that's I'll preach that to my family members, at least, especially the women in my family. I tell them all, you know, get something, you know,
a little 22. Get a pretty little 22 with a pink mother of pearl handle on it
right,
for the ladies.
You know, and my thing is, it's not like we out here hunting nobody, so you know, you don't got to have the things that these kids are showing in their videos. But you know, maybe you want to have something that'll keep somebody off you. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure you can keep somebody off you.
And Ox, like you said, a lot of the most dangerous parts of America have the strictest gun laws. You know, like if you went just off the laws that are on the books, Chicago would be the safest place in America, right? Because it's like in Chicago, if you're just a law-abiding citizen, it's impossible to have a gun. Right. But you know, there's like a million bad guys running around with guns, so I don't like that. You know,
right?
I don't like
I definitely hope they look into something. Just tired of seeing school shootings. I don't know how you can get away from it, but that's my idea. That's just my idea right there. You know, any cops that are kind of in their last 3 to 5 years of, you know, maybe it's time to transition them to district cops, unified school district cops, and placing them at random. You know, maybe you don't got enough to put each one in each spot, but you know, rotate them around. So that way, just like you said, you never know who's there. You know, and
I like that idea a lot. Yeah. Get the 50-year-old guy who's a couple of years away from retirement. And,
the guys that might not be running around chase bad guys, but they still got accuracy. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna miss you. You know, those type of guys. And maybe it might be something like it might be 2 or 3 high schools, or a high school and 2 junior high schools in close vicinity. Maybe he just moves around, rotates every 30 minutes. You know, kind of something like that. You know what I mean? I think that's safer than where we are right now. And on top of that, maybe give the teachers those guns with the rubber bullets or something. That'll put you down.
Yeah, no. There you go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like everything doesn't have to be a AR-15. They're right. Exactly. They're those guns, the less lethal guns. Yeah. You know, shoot the rubber bullets, and it's like you know, the odds are you. I think that's great for that kind of situation. You're probably not going to kill someone, but man, if you got like a rubber bullet coming at you at 500 feet per second or whatever it is, you know, I mean, that's a good little deterrent. Now, how do you feel about how, because you know they're kind of tied together with the whole, whenever a school shooting happens, it's comes back to the assault weapons ban movement for assault weapons bans. That I'm all for like the laws with the different clips and magazines. I do think that should be regulated more. You know what I'm saying? The 10 bullet magazines. Yeah, I know that's what we got. I know that's what we got in California. California is a 10. My thing is just like, you know, I think those type of things should be banned. I think there should be, you know, stricter laws if you get caught with certain ammo, certain magazines, if you will. I don't think that most people need that. You know what I mean? It's out there already though. So some people, it's like they have to have it to protect themselves because other people got it. But if we could have some stricter laws with magazines and certain types of ammo. I'm not for taking people's guns. I think you should be able to have as many guns as you want as long as you can pass certain checks and whatnot. I got you. Yeah, definitely. Well, how are you with that? Well, again, you know, I am kind of old school when it old school is in 19th century when it comes to this stuff. Where I'm pretty liberal with the guns. I don't really like many regulations at all when it comes to the guns. But I mean, I'm willing to live with some. I mean, we banned the automatic weapons. The thing I don't like about the assault weapons ban that they keep trying to bring back is it's just so political. Because, like, honestly, if you look at like actual murders in America, like, again, the school shootings and these kind of things, they eat up the headlines. But I mean, most murders are with a handgun.
Right.
And an assault. I just hate when they call them assault weapons, and they say assault weapon, they say military grade weapon a lot, and like what we have is civilians. Isn't that we're not allowed automatic weapons, and there really isn't anything. It's impossible to find really what an assault weapon is. I mean, the difference between an AR-15 and a hunting rifle is really just the grip. It looks scary. It's black. It looks like an M16. It's got a pistol grip on it, but it's really hard to pass a law that would ban assault weapons and not overlap into just you can't have a gun.
Right.
And so I'm personally hesitant to like even I'm very scared to go down the road of limiting guns, because I feel like it's a political thing where there's definitely a big there's a big movement out there to keep pushing it as far as possible. Like I would hate to be like a lot of the countries in Europe or where it's or Canada, fucking Canada up here, where it's where it's very difficult to have a gun. I think that's I would hate that. I think having an armed society is a key component to America. The Second Amendment.
Yeah, I definitely would hate to live in a society where everybody's walking around with machetes and knives and stuff. I would like to.
Yeah, like in England.
Yeah, if somebody's coming at me with a machete, I would like to just shoot him.
I would like to shoot that.
Yeah, I'm not really, this isn't one of them sword fighting type movies. Like, nah, fuck no, I'm not getting involved with that. But yeah, I think the idea of disarming civilians and taking guns is a terrible idea. I think it's one of the worst ideas. That's even up in the air. Like, that's one of the worst things I think you could do. And it also caused people just to mistrust the government even more than we already do. Like, I don't trust the government enough. I mean, as it is. So if they start taking people's guns, then that's the straw that broke the camel's back. I think that is the biggest. I've had a lot of people talk to me about like, oh, it's going to be some type of revolution or this and that. And I'm like, that would be the main cause of a revolution if they try to disarm, because there's so many gun-bearing citizens that are like that would refuse. They're not going for that. Like, that would be the first. I think of all the reasons I've heard for people saying, oh, there'll be some type of revolution against like the government or something. The main one would be them trying to take guns.
Yeah, and maybe not exactly where we live, but most of the middle of the country is not going for that.
Yeah, well, most of the middle of the country, but I mean, it's Northern California. There's a lot of Oregonians out here. In Idaho, they don't play about their guns in Idaho. Nevada. So it's a lot of people.
And they shouldn't, because I mean, like my reading of history is, when the state takes your guns, that's a real bad sign. Right. Bad things could come. And then the people who really hate guns and they want to get rid of guns totally, they call you paranoid and they say, oh, well, you're gonna fight against the government, and you're really afraid of tyranny and all that. And it's like, well, I hope not. Right. I hope I'm able to live out all my years and everything stays fairly peaceful. But I know that the world can change, and the world probably will change, and you never know exactly how it's gonna change. And you don't want to get caught in a situation where it changes and you're caught on the back foot. You're caught too late. You know,
Right.
in Germany, they took all the guns, and then look at the situation you find yourself in. You know,
Right. For sure.
China, they take all the guns, and look at the situation. You would hope something like that would never happen in America. I think we have a strong system to where, you know, I don't think anything like that's going to happen next year or in the next 5 years, but it's impossible to say what's going to happen 15 years from now at any given time. Really,
Exactly.
you know,
Exactly.
you never know.
Well, moving on, we do know that the debate that we've been waiting for, the highly anticipated presidential debate, is coming
I thought you were
up.
going to say Ox versus Gifted.
Oh, no. Actually, that day, what I'm looking forward to that day is my first stand-up comedy. On Sunday. I'm finally gonna stop being a weenie. I'm gonna get up there and do it. I go to it pretty much every Sunday, and I've just been kind of like, I think I could do it. And so now, you know what I did though, Pirate? I went enough to see enough people do terrible.
Yeah.
So that way, that's what I had to do. I had to watch them, and they'd be like, okay, it wasn't that bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, yeah, nobody laughed, but hey, you all right. You know what I'm saying? So now that I saw that enough times, I got my confidence up. So I'm gonna go. And then on top of that, like, what I've been doing is kind of sitting at one of the front tables, and I know that somebody's gonna say something to me because, you know, like, I usually, you know, I'm the biggest person in that row. I'm the black guy right there, and, you know, I'm not, you know, I'm entigered, so it's, you know, it's a kind of a mixed crowd, but I know I stand out, and so a lot of times they make little jokes, and then they say something and incorporate me into it. And then I'll like say something and people laugh. So I'm like, oh, okay, I thought quick. Okay, good job. I am kind of funny. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. That's great to hear, man. Yeah. No, I mean, two things. I think it's great. Well, you know, everyone, you should never be afraid to fail. Mm-hmm. Failure is a part of life, and, you know, like, try things, and you know, maybe it works. Even if it, you know, fails, you can always get them next time. But then also, I did always used to have this maxim in life. I thought everyone in life should put together a 10-minute comedy set. Yeah. Just you know, as kind of a mental exercise. And
yeah, it's gonna be fun. But, it's only like a 5-minute set, so it's all good. But me and Gifted will go at it before that though, and I am looking forward to that as well. You know, I am the 3 seed, but the clear underdog, which is cool, I guess. I don't know why I'm the underdog.
The Vegas line, you checked Bodega. Bodega's got you down.
yeah, they got Gifted packing me up, but
plus 300.
No, like, I'm a severe underdog right now. I'm the 3 seed, he's the 14 seed, but it's like,
do you like your topics?
Topics are fine. I don't ever care about the topics as long as I don't have to debate against Luka Doncic or debate for James Harden. Then I feel like I got a chance. Or unless it's like one of the older guys like John Stockton, you know, can never win it.
The kids don't like the old guys. The kids don't like the old guys.
Yeah, you can't win debating for John Stockton against Luka Doncic. So that's a rough one.
I mean, I'm on my eternal mission to promote Wilt and George Gervin and all that, but, you know, it's a tough row to hoe with the younger guys.
But yeah, I want to. So with the presidential election coming up, I want to speak on that, but I also want to present you guys with this. We do have some early polls. Let's see what we can do. Do we got it? Okay.
Yep. So you remember, I think we checked this on either the first or the second episode.
Right.
I check this site every day. This is Real Clear Politics. I think they got the best little setup to keep track of things. And you know, I think last time we checked, it was Trump at 287, and now these swing states, they're just you know, it's back and forth. It's very up in play. It's going to be a tight, close race, it looks like. And yeah, they actually have right now. They have old.
Is there anything on this map that surprises you?
Yeah, the Georgia. So that they just flipped Georgia today with the polling average. That surprises me. I don't think that's. I don't believe in that. Right now, I'm still personally forecasting 297 for Trump. I think the Georgia flipping blue. Yeah, that would be what's surprising me most on their current projection. But 7 or 8 of these states, it's all within like a percentage point. So it's like each day when a new poll comes out, it might kind of like tilt it in one direction or the other. The other thing you should remember, or what I'm looking at and trying to remember, is the polls. During the whole Trump era, or since Trump hit the scene, they've really undervalued Trump every time. To where
What do you mean by that?
To where the polls going into the election, once the election actually happens, they've tended to undervalue him by between 4 to 8 points. So where like as in like they would say that they had Hillary Clinton was projected to win the whole Rust Belt, and Trump actually won the whole Rust Belt except for Minnesota, but Hillary was projected to win it by like 6 or 7 points. So between the last two elections, yeah, most of the polls have had a anti-Trump projection of between like 3 to 6 points. I think you can conservatively say.
Okay, and just projecting more, what do you think will happen after Tuesday? After Tuesday, who do you think will, like, do you expect anybody to have a stronger debate than the other opponent? Do you expect the debate to sway this type of poll at all?
It's so hard to say because it seems. Well, I mean, Kamala, she's only done the one interview in 45 days, So she's got so much support for, in my opinion, like a candidate that like isn't out there. It seems like in the debate, like something drastic would have to happen. So many people are locked in at this point, I think. I'd say probably like 90% of the people it would be very hard to sway with a debate where they're either locked in for Trump or Kamala. 10% are probably impressionable.
Oh man, that's a big number. I don't even know if it's that big. They're so. I think these candidates are so far apart on the spectrum and range. I think most people already know. Like, I'm voting for this person, no matter what happens. I will not vote for this person. Like how much different of a candidates could you get besides Donald Trump and Kamala Harris?
They are different, but it's like it seems like so few people are actually focused on the actual policies and what the differences in the policies would be. Such a vibes election. It seems like most people are just running off vibes at this point. Like, I like Trump's vibe. I like Kamala's vibe.
I don't think people care at all about politics anymore at this point. Like, nobody cares about what her plan is or what his plan is. Nobody cares about that. Well, people care, but as far as when it comes to them versus, like, when it comes to Kamala versus Trump, it's not really based on their policies anymore. You know what I mean? People that are voting for these people, they might be more intrigued to know what's going on, but it's not going to make them not vote for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I was like, I try to figure out the gauge because I'm kind of like I'm a political wonk. Like pretty much every day I spend probably a couple hours every day, kind of following politics and like looking into politics, listening to political shows. But I know that most of Americans don't really do that, so it's hard to get into the mind of the quote unquote average voter. I know a lot of people are disenchanted. I know a lot of people won't vote. Just aren't even thinking about it at all. which is a shame. But you know, it's kind of understandable too with the way that the political environment is.
Is
So I don't know.
is voting fraud a real issue in America?
I think so. Like to the extent that it's actually, I think potential voter fraud is a very big issue, especially with the way that the world is going, where things are all automated.
Mhm.
I do trust the old fashioned. You go in, you mark the ballot, you put it in. You have a bunch of physical ballots. You count them up. You can trace them back to people.
Yeah.
I do think it's well, we did remember looking at Venezuela there. We were looking at the Venezuelan election a couple weeks ago.
Right. We do have a clip from Brett Weinstein. I want to see. I want
Very
to
smart
play that.
man. Very smart man.
Do.
Right.
Because for one thing, elections used to be different, as you remember,
Yeah.
right? First of all, you used to vote in person, and voting by mail was something you were very reluctant to do because you knew that if your vote got counted, it was going to be very late in the process. It wasn't really going to matter.
It was mostly for soldiers serving overseas.
Right, exactly. It was for people who just simply couldn't vote in person, and it never really mattered except in very rare cases. The disappearance of that and the normalization of voting by mail, the normalization of voting across a period of time so that you're not all voting on the same day, and the absence of exit polls, right? When everybody's voting from home or wherever, you can't detect fraud by virtue of the fact that the count that came in from that precinct didn't match what the exit pollers registered.
Right.
And so, I don't think we are wrong to imagine that we have lost the ability to check whether an election is fair, and that that's not an accident. That leaves the possibility open to cheat. And as you point out, they cheat in every other way. Are we supposed to believe that they won't do that because their patriotism is so deep? I don't see any patriotism to them at all.
When he says them, is he talking about a specific party? Or is he just talking about
I think he's
politicians in
probably
general?
talking more about the Democratic Party, but I think it'd be fair to say that either party could be culpable of it. I think that was a brilliant, little 1 minute of observation. I don't trust any of this stuff, man. The early voting, the thing that I don't trust about the Democrats are that they're pushing for all these things to make it looser and looser and laxer and laxer. And I'm like, well,
Is it them trying to make
do that?
Is it them trying to make it looser and looser, or is it them trying to get everybody access to vote for people that don't that's not easy for them to get their vote in, or that could they just be trying to reach out to more of their rural
You could say that.
constituents, or
You could say that. That's definitely the reasoning that they give for a lot of this stuff. But let me ask you, as far as it comes to early voting, now you're voting for president, right?
Mhm.
Do you think? I mean, do you think it's a good idea for people to be casting their vote like 2 months before the election?
Well, no,
Or
I mean, I think it just should be just I think it just should be a 1-day thing. You get your vote in and boom, simple. But voting that early doesn't make any sense to me. But I can see where people that don't, that live all the way out in the boonies or just in the more rural areas where they could need an extra day or so. I don't know, but like 2 months in advance doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, sure. An extra day, an extra couple days, I could maybe figure out, provisional ballots and all that. But I'm just thinking, so why exactly? Why would you be voting an extended period before the election? I mean, wouldn't you hope at least? Doesn't it kind of seem like it's targeting the uninformed voters at that point? Like, for something that as big as choosing your next president for the next 4 years, wouldn't you kind of want to let the process play out and go up and see what happens, and maybe some stuff comes out, that usually there's this whole October surprise thing, right? where some new information about people tends to get revealed, closer and closer to the election as people look more and more into things. And I'm just like, why would you be targeting uninformed voters? Or that just seems like an uninformed vote to me, to like just a long time before the election say I'm going with this guy, moving on,
Right. Well, another thing, they just had some people in the lobby that just left. Okay, they'll probably be back. Anyways, another issue that's been coming up in the election too has just been, freedom of speech, these internet platforms, and Kamala Harris has a pretty unique stance on that. I'm going to play this clip too. I'm going to get people's perspective on this. Let's see.
And will put the Department of Justice of the United States back in the business of justice. We will double the Civil Rights Division and direct law enforcement to counter this extremism. We will hold social media platforms accountable for the hate infiltrating their platforms, because they have a responsibility to help fight against this threat to our democracy. And if you profit off of hate, if you act as a megaphone for misinformation or cyber warfare, if you don't police your platforms, we are going to hold you accountable as a community. And we'll put the
I'm not big on censorship, and I'm big on freedom of speech. But we talked about it at some point. At some point, it goes too far.
All right. Well, when exactly does it go too far? That's the question, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It does become harmful at times. I don't know the answer for this, but I do feel like where's the God? What are the guidelines to freedom of speech? You know what I mean? Like, what are the guidelines of freedom of speech? Because I don't want people to be censored, but is social media a place where that right is protected? You know what I mean? Like, is this?
Yes.
I mean, because social media, like these places like YouTube, Instagram, these are businesses, right? Like,
Right.
It's not like it's the newspaper. You know what I mean? It's a little different, I think. So that's why I asked, like, where is the freedom of speech 100% protected on Instagram and Twitter and, you know what I'm saying, and YouTube?
Yes. Yeah.
But even if there's rules to these places and you know the rules to these places?
Well, no. So that's the difference. Yeah. I mean, the private company that owns the platform, they're allowed to instill their own rules and guidelines. But now we're talking about a governmental law, or the government coming in and saying something like misinformation is a crime,
Right.
or that honestly that hate speech is a crime. I mean, these are delicate things, I mean, right now the freedom of speech covers pretty much your freedom of opinion and saying pretty much anything you want, as long as it's not a direct threat,
Right. As long as
to someone else. Like I can't say I'm gonna come to your house at 8 o'clock and light you on fire. You can't do that. That's assault. As long as
misinformation is dangerous as well. Especially like when COVID was going on, people were just spreading anything they heard.
And
I thought remember COVID was caused by the 5G towers, so.
Yeah, but I believe that when personally, I believe when you weigh the pros and cons of all that, you have to allow it. I have to be allowed to say that the moon is made of green cheese. I can't have the government coming in and saying that you can't say that. In my personal opinion, because because you know what they're going to do with it. I mean, it's what you think was like, oh, I agree with that. We shouldn't let people say this. We shouldn't let people say that. And then if you keep going down that road, then you basically wipe away the principle of free speech. I mean, that's very easy to get into a crazy censorship, a crazy censor, especially the way the world is now. I mean, the way that everything's tied together with the internet, and I mean, look, the government is really able to clamp down on things now. Like if you just handed over the internet to the government, well, look, I mean, some countries are like, in China.
Mm-hmm.
If you live in China, you can't say like 75% of the things that you're thinking in your head, and you can't read it from other people, and you can't spread information. And Ox, you mentioned COVID. Now look at a lot of those things that were called misinformation in the beginning turned out to be not misinformation.
Right.
But if you're just going down, if you're just shutting down quote unquote misinformation, you're gonna end up shutting down a lot of things that are not misinformation. They're just maybe inconvenient at the time,
right?
Or controversial. You're going to be shutting down a lot of things that are probably in some gray area where people can have different perspectives on things, but you're going to say one perspective is right and shut down dissent. I just think that's horrible. It's how do we? I think I believe in the Bill of Rights a ton. I think the Bill of Rights are an amazing bit of legislation. I think they've carried America a long way, and transferring those principles into the 21st century is it's a challenge, like meshing these things with modern technology and the way the world is kind of going.
Right. Well, let me see. We got Easy in the lobby. Let me pull Easy up and see what he got for us today.
Yeah.
What up, Easy?
Yo, Ox, what's the word, big dog? Yo, Pirate, what's the word, my guy? How the ship rolling?
What's up, Easy? It's a little to the left. Leering a little to the left, yeah.
Might have to rock back to the right a little bit. But yo, man, real quick before I get started, that debate with you and Casual, even though it was a sweep, that was close as hell, yo. That was close as hell. That was Memphis Grizzlies versus San Antonio sweep. Every game was close as hell. So shit, but that was a good shit right there.
No, Casual. I knew it would be. I mean, I felt like we both kind of we got that 8-9 seed, and yeah, Casual is on point with this stuff. So I thought it was, obviously I do think I swept, but I think it was a very good battle.
You did sweep. It was just a great battle. Like I said, Memphis Grizzlies versus San Antonio Spurs. Even though Memphis got swept, every game was close down to the wire. It was what you did right in the moments of impact. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm glad you liked it. I had fun. That was the most fun I've had with one of these debates so far. I really love those topics. I thought we got some great topics.
I think you really warmed up at this point. But aside from that, I've been wanting to join this little show right here that y'all been going on with. Y'all been talking about a lot. It's funny, the minute y'all bring me up, almost like damn near more than half the things I want to talk about just decide to walk out my brain. But I'm back here now, though. I'm back here. Right, so one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, Pirate, because this is an interesting thing that I be talking to a lot of people about. People are really not too familiar with the policies either side are really pushing, and if they are, they're only familiar with like one policy that one side pushed, and like they heard like a rhetoric or like a propaganda right behind it, and they roll with that propaganda and they don't know what to assume from it. So like, for example, like one person told me like they heard about the capital gain thing. I think Kamala Harris gonna impose, if she was to win office, like one of the policies, and they don't really know about capital gain, but they just heard, oh, your money gonna get taxed before you get it, and they automatically uproared. I'm like, you gotta understand what's going on first. Now, yes, that sounds crazy off rip, but
it is crazy, Easy.
No, that is absolutely insane. But and then to tax at 45%, so like you're taking away half of my profit before I even get the profit. So how much is my profit really getting taxed? So, but don't have a problem with it if you're not familiar with the whole thing. So my question to you, Pirate.
I agree with that. Yeah.
So my thing is, what are some of the policies that Trump is pushing that one you are in agreement with and one you have some trepidation with?
Okay. Yeah, that's easy. I'll say off the bat, the first two that I would agree with is I think that his the tax plan that he had that went into effect in 2017. I think that was good. I think we should extend that. It was the TCJA, the Tax Cut and Jobs Act, essentially minimizing corporate taxes and income taxes. I'm a low tax guy. I thought that was a good adjustment to the plan that we had in place. And then as far as the border stuff, I think that's a very big issue. I want to seal up the border. Something I don't like. I don't like that he's proposed. Well, like we were just talking about the free speech and the misinformation on Kamala Harris's side and the Democrat side, controlling misinformation. Donald Trump has been saying some of these things like, if you burn the flag, you get a year in jail, or if you support Hamas, make it a crime, or
that's gonna be Cold War times, like.
Yeah, I don't believe in that. I'm into freedom of. Again, I'm my political alignment generally is like libertarian is the closest thing. So I'm mainly about personal freedom in virtually all aspects, socially, economically, pretty much every damn way. So the thing that I don't like about Trump that he's done and kind of the MAGA thing has done is it seems like he's kind of taken the Republican Party away from some of the more fundamental individual liberties, small government, fiscal conservative stuff, and he's leaned more into this, I guess you'd call it like the culture war that we got going on, where it's the left versus right, the woke versus the anti-woke, all that stuff I have a lot less interest in. And I think that distracts from the stuff that I think is really important, like the actual structures and the fundamental structure of the government. Like, honestly, I care less about what the government does. I care a lot more about what the government is. Whenever I go in to vote for someone, I'm looking to vote for someone who's gonna hopefully structure the government in more a way that I want. Like I live kind of by the creed. I think one of the underrated presidents of our time was Calvin Coolidge, Silent Cal, and his motto was, make the presidency so small that it doesn't matter too much who the president is. Like I kind of want the federal government to be small enough to where whatever they are doing isn't going to lead to catastrophe if the wrong person is in charge. So yeah, what about you when you're looking at these two? What's kind of pulling you in one direction or another?
I haven't been able to do the exact research that I want to been doing because I've been like swamped up with a lot of things, and So like I haven't really like been able to like tap into what exactly both sides like really been really
Easy,
like to like
easy.
focus on like the policies and the thing.
Easy. You've been swamped lately.
Oh yeah, bro. A
Yeah,
lot been going on.
Probably because Easy be up late, like on the graveyard shift. He be coming through at all hours. He actually fights crime in downtown Brooklyn at nighttime.
I support that. Vigilante
he's like a vigilante.
Wait, what's going on, bro? I ain't Batman, bro. Hold on, bro. I am not Batman, bro. I am not Batman, bro. I am not jumping off buildings trying to break niggas' necks just because they took a piece of candy, bro. I am not.
I don't know why the hell not. Fucking get yourself some spandex. Get yourself like a stun gun, a baton, and go out there and solve some shit, man. Fix some shit.
Easy. You with the cattle prod, bro? Jumping out of alleys, zapping bad guys. I can see it now.
Yo, Ox, that cattle prod ain't no joke, bro. I hit somebody with that shit, nigga. They go fry, bro. I'm on. I'll become before I get into vigilante business. I become a criminal myself because that person who did some bad shit is gonna run to the police now. I just got hit with a cattle prod, dog. Find this nigga out here with a Batman outfit, spandex, running around Brooklyn saying it's time. No. No. But real quick, because a lot there was a lot right there. But I don't know if I could double back. But real quick, one of the things I want to ask, right? I put this question in the chat, and I heard you tap on it a little bit. Should freedom have a line, or does freedom?
Did you say a line? Did you say what? A line, like
so like, cause I heard you say like freedom of speech, you could say whatever you want, but I'm like, there's a lot of things out there you could say is crazy. Like, I don't think that should be acceptable, but then we have freedom of speech, and I do agree to an extent. Yeah, freedom of speech, you should be able to say what you want, but some of these things are damning. So should freedom have a line? Like, you can't cross this line with your freedom of speech. You're taking advantage of the right to have freedom to issue out rhetoric that is harmful to the society, that could break down the power that the law has. Should freedom have a line?
Right. Ox, do you have anything on that?
It's so hard to answer that question because I want to say there that you got to draw a line. Well, there is obviously a line, but that's what the laws are. The laws are there to draw a line to the freedoms. Like, okay, you're not allowed to do that. You know what I mean? So yeah, there is a line. Some laws I agree with, and some laws I don't agree with. You know what I mean? So it's hard for me to say yes, hard for me to say no. I don't agree with full authority over people. I think people should be able to live their lives, but there's so many people out here that will hurt people. You know what I'm saying? That'll take from people. I believe like the government and the laws are here to protect those that can't protect themselves, the weak that get taken advantage of. There's predator and prey. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm fine with certain laws. I think laws are needed. I think cops and things, I think they're necessary. But if anything, easy. That's just a hard question, bro. I don't know how to answer that question. I don't know. How to answer that question.
I believe that you do need some laws. You need some laws. I am at heart though. I am a minarchist. You've probably heard of an anarchist, right? Doesn't believe in any government. Right. I'm a minarchist. I want the government to be as small as possible. Like, I believe kind of in like a night watchman government. I want them doing as little as possible. I think the less government does, the better they're going to be at it.
Why do you believe that? Why do you believe that? Why do you believe that the government should be as small as possible and should not have their hand in most of the things going on with I would say individual people or like communities or like group-based projects or people? Like, why do you think they should have their hands away from some of the things?
Essentially because government is inherently detached from the natural forces of society and markets, because essentially what government is a monopoly of violence, right? That's basically what government is. Government monopolizes violence. So that the thought is, and I agree, if you have a government, they monopolize violence, so they take the power of violence out of the hands of the people. But the bigger a government gets, the more bureaucracy you have, the more agencies you have, and they're not running under the natural pressures of the world. So like I don't want the government in charge of deciding how many potatoes are grown, and how many of the potatoes we turn into hash browns, and how many of the potatoes we turn into vodka, and being in control of the potato market, because whenever the government becomes involved, then you're erasing the invisible hand of the market forces that would naturally kind of decide how valuable something is, where it goes, who needs it. Instead, you're doing a top-down distribution. I'm very much against that. I think it's very inefficient, and it leads to, centralized power corrupts and is inefficient, essentially. So, yeah, I want government, and also I want the different branches of government involved in different things. Like the federal government, I believe, should be very, very focused on just dealing with foreign nations, protecting the nation, and enforcing the Constitution, and that's about it. I think everything else should pretty much be diffused down to the state level. I believe in the marketplace of ideas, competition of ideas. It's kind of the same thing with free speech. I think freedom of speech is not to shut up the people that you agree with. It's there to protect ideas that maybe you don't agree with, because sometimes you never quite know what's going to rise to the top.
Yeah. I think those things are essential. I like the idea of a smaller federal government and letting the states do their thing. I like that. But I don't know. What else you got, Easy?
I got time. I'm still good, or you got somebody else to pull up?
Yeah, bro, we chilling, bro. You can stay up for a little bit. You can stay up. I'll go through a couple of these clips if you want to.
Oh yeah, we can do that too.
Let's go through some clips. Yeah.
Let's get back to the clips. Then. Go ahead.
Real quick. I just want to touch on something that Pirate said. So when you said the government, if you include the government, like for example, into the marketplace, you erase the invisible hand. So my question is, why are the people now aware of the invisible hand if you know the invisible hand is not really transparent and it's really just a facade to show you that because the government should be already involved in the marketplace if they're already big and controlling so many things already. If they're already involved in it, isn't the invisible hand already erased? And you should come into the game knowing that the government does have its hand and implication into this field right here, into the marketplace. Isn't the visible hand just you should automatically come in knowing there's certain things that's already being controlled, but it's being pushed to you as a unpredictable entity?
Yeah, well, I mean, people have different prerogatives, right? So, I mean, if you have a vested interest in building a stronger government, and having the power there, then that's not really the message. Yeah, you're going to spread to people, right? So, imagine if, let's just say, you have this nation of 350 million people, and then let's just say that you set up a federal government that takes in $6 trillion in tax revenue each year, and then let's just say that that you set up a Department of Education and you filter down to the children and the people a message. Do you think that message is going to tell you to make that government smaller? Probably not, right?
No. Yeah, no.
Probably not.
Especially if they just raked in that much from just tax revenue alone. Of course not. No way. The message is going to be to push the kids towards amplifying what already their project is already. If anything, they already got their plan set already. They probably like they're going to probably revisit their plan like at 2040 or something like that.
Yeah, and so that's what we have right now. We have a nation that has a $25 trillion. We produce 25 trillion a year, and the government takes in over 6 trillion, and they spend about 7 or 8 trillion. It's a very big system, So there are going to be a lot of people that tell you, and that's where all of this big government comes in. That's where you get all these promises from, like, hey, vote me president. I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give you that. Building a coalition of people to support the government, and make it bigger and bigger.
Real quick, Paul. I don't want to get too much off topic, but before we go to these clips, speaking of trillions, last episode of the season, or the episode before that, you kind of ran down how countries get into debt, specifically how America has acquired, 17 trillion, whatever it is
35
now.
35
trillion dollars worth of
$35
debt.
trillion.
Can you run that down one more time for me and for any people that don't understand, because this is something that I've always had trouble understanding. But when you explained it to me the other day, it made a lot of sense. It was more like a stock or bond type thing. And so when you put it that way, I understood. But I need to be refreshed on that one more time.
Okay, so essentially the government is you look at it like your household, right? You have your income, and then you have your expenses. If your expenses, your income is the tax revenue you take from people. Your expenses are all of the programs that you have. So it'd be nice to run a balanced budget, or even run a surplus, which we had for a couple of years in the 90s. But since then, we've been running a deficit, meaning each year we're spending more than we're taking in revenue. So to address that, the Treasury has to issue Treasury notes, and then they sell them on the open market, and that's who we owe our debt to. We owe our debt to everyone who has bought up Treasury notes that are paid with interest, right? You buy this note, and then you're paid interest over 5-10 years, whatever.
Are people being paid, or is this a Ponzi scheme?
No, people are being paid. People are being paid. They're constantly. And I mean, that's kind of why we keep. It becomes a debt spiral. If you don't solve your spending, then you have to keep taking out more and more debt to pay off the interest. Like right now, we're in a situation where over 15%. So, like I said, we're taking in $6 trillion in tax revenue each year, right?
Right.
Out of that $6 trillion, over 15% goes strictly to paying the interest on our debt. Not to paying down the debt, just to paying the interest on the debt.
To American citizens.
Yeah. Well, some are American citizens. It's to everybody. It's spread all over the world. It's
whoever bought treasury bonds. It's anybody could buy.
Yeah. They go on the open market. You could buy one. I've held bonds. I mean, I'm more of a stock and gold guy, but I've held bonds and.
Right. So I know about stocks and bonds, war bonds, things like that, but I didn't know that that's where the debt that we hear about all the time. Like I didn't know that was the debt that we're always hearing about.
That is the debt that you're always hearing about, and it's spread all over the place. It's spread to investors. I mean, basically, it's spread to investors. Everyone who has it, they're investing. They're buying a bond to get interest. They're investing in America. You can think of it. You're investing in America. And so they're getting paid interest, and that's where the debt. So it ends up being a wealth transfer, right? Because to pay the interest on the bonds, you tax the American public as a whole. So you take up all of America's money, and then that interest, and then a lot of it goes to the spending, either the Medicare or the military and everything that the government spends money on. But then 15% is going to paying these investors, which are people all around. They're some Americans, they're Chinese people, they're individuals, they're companies, they're even nations. Nations can buy up these bonds, and it's not just America. I mean, virtually everybody. There are bonds for everything. You buy bonds in Greece or municipalities in America, but the federal government, it's 35 trillion that we owe, and we gotta fucking do something. Like I'm sitting over here like that's why I'm big into politics. I love it and hate it when the elections come around because I'm like, all right, I love this stuff, but it's like, goddamn, why the fuck are we talking about Megan the Stallion and the shit, man? Like we're $35 trillion in debt. Can we get this shit under control? God damn it!
So basically, probably you're saying that's not a $35 trillion ass right there.
Right.
No, that is not a $35 trillion ass as far as I'm concerned. No.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's get into some of these. Let's run through these clips real quick. Because we can't go too much tonight. I got to get the kids to bed. We are back in school. All right, let's see.
School back. School is back.
Easy. Oh my god. Oh, bro.
How many kids you got, Ox?
I got 3.
Oh yeah.
My oldest son, he's down. He lives in California. He's with his mom during the school year. But
okay.
my younger two are here though.
Yo, Ox, I saw a family lined up out the daycare, and that shit wasn't even open. I'm like, yo, like families. I was like, yo, they ready to give their kids up. Like, yo, take them. I need to go to work. Take them right now, man. Take them, man.
They need it though. Well, like even during the school, like the summertime though, I'll like have my kids doing their notebooks, reading everything. But still, like too much time off of school, like just the basic arithmetic, science, all that type of stuff, the basic general education. That last month of summer, you can kind of sense them starting to regress a little bit. So it's kind of like, yo, y'all need to get back into it. There's obviously other things outside of school that your kids need to learn, and you know what I'm saying, and it's on us as parents to teach them or figure out a way for them to learn it. But they still need that general education. Like math is important. You know what I'm saying? Learning the basics of the basics of science, that's important. You know what I'm saying? Learning how to write properly, English, read and stuff like that. That's very important stuff. All the other extra stuff, I'm kind of like, you know what I'm saying? But the social aspect of school, the basic general education, you know what I'm saying? Kids need that shit, man. And on top of that, I'm a hog tie one of these little motherfuckers. I'll put you in the closet. Nah. But okay, let's get to this next one. So
the only way we're going to have a great future in America is if we welcome and embrace immigrants, the dreamers, and all of them, because our ultimate goal is to help the dreamers, but get a path to citizenship for all 11 million or however many undocumented there are here. The only way we're going to have a great future in America is if we welcome and embrace immigrants, the dreamers, and all of them, because our ultimate goal is to help the dreamers, but get a path to citizenship for all 11 million or however many undocumented there are here.
So, as we know, immigration, the border is always a big thing in elections. How do y'all feel about this clip?
Easy.
It's really hard for me. It's pulling on both sides of me because I kind of agree with it, and at a point I don't. I do agree with it to a point because if anything, like my parents are immigrants, like they came over here and then they was able to get citizenship, but they first came over here like undocumented or like not citizens. So like I kind of agree with that point. Like I don't want to take away that opportunity for somebody to like seek a better life, especially if they could prove themselves to be a better citizen, a good citizen, or even a better citizen than what you have right here already. So I don't want to take away that right. You can have somebody like me or even somebody better than me come here. So why take away that right? But I'm not going to lie, like during these past couple of years, seeing the immigration thing hit like New York, I could see how that could become a problem. Like I can't like get away from that fact as well. Like just taking in all these undocumented citizens, making them citizens, or even giving them a way of life into our life before you even service our people. That I can't get with that completely. I can't get with that completely, unfortunately.
Where'd your parents come from?
Jamaica.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, go to Jamaica. Yeah. Ox. What do you think?
I mean, this is kind of something we've been talking about. Just time of year it is, or what year it is, and at some point there has to be regulations on these things. Like, you can't just allow people just to flood in any country. I do think that America was built on that ideology of this is the home of the free, land of the brave. Everybody come here. You know what I'm saying? This is the American dream. That was 100 years ago. You know what I'm saying? That was 150 years ago. That was a while back. And it's, now it's kind of like maybe we should change our motto a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. We can't, you can't allow everybody to come unless we have things set into place. If we had some a better system of getting people work, getting people documented, getting people citizenship, getting people prepared to pay taxes and things like that. If we could streamline that, you know what I'm saying, and get them out these hotels and get them off the streets, then by all means, yeah, come on. But if we can't even house you or give you work, then what's the point? Like, somebody's, that's only bad to come from that.
I mean, I think there's definitely a situation where you can set it up where life for the people who have come into America, it's better than the situation that they came from. And at the same time, it's making the situation for everyone who's already in America worse. I want a nation and I want a system. I want to raise the lower class. I mean, I'm a small government person, but I think there does need to be a safety net. I don't want the government doing pretty much damn near anything for who's doing okay or in the middle class and well off. I want to help the people who are in the lowest classes. That's very hard to do when you keep bringing in millions of people from other countries. It's hard. Like, I want the guy who's painting the house to be making as much money as they can so that they can have a safe existence. I want the kid who's working at McDonald's to be able to do all right. And that you can't have it both ways. You can't say you want to raise the lower class of America and also say, let anybody come in who's going to come in, because it's like you really don't understand how that's affecting the economy. You're driving away all of the entry level. I mean, an economy is set up to where you have entry level positions, right?
Right.
And a lot of these entry level positions, they should be taken up by. We have 350 people in America, so we have kids who are just coming out of high school, right? Yep. And they're going to go into an entry level job. And the nice system would be to where you have your kids, they go to school, they can either go to college or they get entry level jobs, and then they get a little better job. When you start bringing in millions of people, it fucks up the whole system, the chain of command in the economy.
Right. So here's my idea, y'all. I know people are gonna like the way this sounds. They're not going to like the way this sounds, but hear me out. It's just an idea. I just want to have a conversation. Okay, look.
You got to spitball.
So let's find out these countries in South America, Central America, the countries that these are, right? If these people want to come to America anyway, maybe
just make it America.
Bring America to them. A little colonization.
Maybe just expand our borders a little bit here.
I'm just saying, like a little colonization. If they want to be in America, just take America to them. Because if the country is so bad, there's got to be some bad guys over there that are making it fucked up. We just go over there, get rid of them. You know what I'm saying? Now you guys are state 51.
So go to Venezuela and take over their government.
Yeah, a little colonization. You know what I'm saying? Go over there, knock the bad guys out. And Venezuela's the 51st state of the union.
What makes you different from Russia than Lithuania? Then?
Ox has become a neocon.
Like, what's going on, Ox?
Yo,
he did say he liked McCain.
I was a McCain fan.
Let's
Look,
go.
I'm just
we'll
spitballing here,
strike.
I'm just spitballing here. You know what I mean? Like I know that colonization has been bad in the past and it's destabilized some governments before. You know what I'm saying? I know that America always sticking their nose in people's business. But if they want to come here, they want to come here anyway. You know what I'm saying? Shit, just.
Hey, Ox, I'll one up you, man. We're spending all his money on this military. How about we just make the whole fucking world America?
Oh, that's not what
I'm saying. How about we just make the whole fucking world? You're American now.
Not the whole world, but we could put a army, a Air Force, and a Marine base in Venezuela.
I mean, Canada. Come on, we don't need Canada to be its own country at this point. This kind of
so we just take over Canada. I don't think a lot of people are immigrating from Canada. So I don't think they want us.
We can put all the immigrants up in Canada. There you go.
So just busting. Just busting. That's like, are you like that? So this like Andrew Jackson, Trail of Tears. We're just gonna just
This will be like America's attic. America's attic. We just
oh shit! Don't please, Power. Don't please. Don't please don't.
Kick everybody into Canada.
Yeah, no, that's fire. That's fire. Okay, let's.
I think it's about time. Something like that already.
Yeah, but they were busting them.
Well, we've been busting them to New York for the last year or so.
I was saying, isn't Canada dealing with something like not to the level of like U.S., but like a little immigration crisis already? Like, aren't they?
You know what? Let's here we can get into Canada right now, y'all. Let's talk about a little Canada right now. I got a clip queued up.
Oh yeah, this is good. Yeah. This is the one.
W Segway. Oh.
Yeah, that was smooth. That was smooth.
So what's this guy's? This is what's his name? Justin Trudeau.
That's Justin Trudeau. Yeah,
Justin Trudeau. So apparently he gets pressed by one of the workers outside of the factory. Let's see how
Prime Minister of Canada. Prime Minister of Canada.
Stupid haircut, but
yeah, this guy's a douche.
We got donuts over here if you want to.
We got donuts.
I can bring some for my kids here.
Okay. The 25% tariffs we just brought in on Chinese steel to help you out.
That's going to keep my job.
What
about the 40% taxes I'm paying? And I don't have a doctor.
The $400 million in the invest in the electric car means you're going to have a job.
I think you're only here for another year. We won't see you around probably in another year.
Well, that's what elections are for.
That's right.
And I look forward to everyone exercising the right to vote.
Yep.
Basic choice. We're going to invest in you and your job.
I don't believe you for a second.
Dental care? Do you know anyone who got dental care?
Yeah, I pay for it myself.
Okay.
We're like 3 years behind.
You have a job and coverage?
Yeah,
four
people in my family. Every time we go for a dental visit, it's costing me about $50 in my pocket per person.
Okay.
Why? I have a good job. You're not really doing anything for us, Justin.
Well, actually, we just invested so 500,000 people hadn't been to the dentist. Got to go to the dentist over the past few months.
Probably like my neighbor that doesn't go to work because she's lazy.
You know what?
Doesn't go to work. She lives the same life I do.
Most Canadians try to stick up for each other. And that's what we're going to keep doing.
Yeah.
Good luck and take care of your family, sir.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right.
Have a nice day.
Have a good day, sir. All right. Right, the other guys got the donuts. Excellent.
Shout out to the donuts.
That guy's got like the most punchable face I've ever seen.
Was that Canada?
Yeah, that's the Prime Minister of Canada. That's Justin Trudeau.
Oh yeah. What?
That's the leader. That's the leader of Canada. That's like the. Is
that like the leader of Canada? And that's how you're talking to a citizen of Canada? They're like, that's how, bro. So the man is just throwing out general facts, if they are facts, and he's not addressing none of the things that the man is saying. Like what? Like
Yeah.
how can you do that, yo?
He was really walking all around those questions.
Yo, Ox, this is beyond Neo in the Matrix, bro. Like you're having a ring around the rosy around the bush.
Yeah, I love seeing political leaders like get one upped by regular people, man. I love whenever that happens. Regular people just walk up, you're full of shit. Yeah, it looks like he's probably gonna lose. He's been in power for like goddamn 12 years now.
It's been a minute. I've been
years,
hearing his name for quite some time. I want them to give a segment to the people on Tuesday the 10th. I want them to allow like 15 people to come up and just ask some questions.
Bro, they used to do that. Ox. The debate cycle used to be so much more intensive and like multiple debates, and they would totally have debates where, you know, the crowd take questions from the audience, and man, media is just on such a fucking lockdown now. It's sick, man.
But that's
it's
what
like
I want to ask you,
Pirate.
That's one of the things I wanted to ask you, Pirate. How do you see that debate going? What is it going to be like next week? Is it like next week?
Yeah,
Tuesday the 10th.
Yeah,
Tuesday. Yeah.
I mean, I see it going. You know, it's going to be on ABC. It's going to be pretty softball. It's going to have some level of pro Kamala bias to it. Exactly how much I don't know, but it's probably going to be a lot of.
What is it on? Because you said there'd be some pro Kamala. What station network is it on?
It's on ABC.
Okay.
Like George Stephanopoulos, I think, is going to be the. I think Stephanopoulos.
See, if I was Kamala, I would be like, yo, I want to do one on Fox. You know what I'm
no, she won't do that, man. She won't do that.
No, that's no.
Kamala is not quick on her feet.
She got to show that she got some nuts. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up? I'll come over there.
No, dude. I mean, they were even they're doing the whole basement strategy, man. She's it's September. We got like a month and a half. She's done one interview. I mean, they're trying to minimize how much she's in front of cameras.
So we got Breezy up here now too. I want to ask all of y'all a question. I'm gonna start with you, Breezy, since you just got here. I want to know who has more to lose, more to gain by doing interviews. Like who between these two, Kamala and Donnie, who should stay off of the camera the most?
Love the page, love the question. Shout out to all y'all. Again, I think honestly that's what the people need. You know what I'm saying? And the person that has more to risk is the person that's probably bullshitting the most. You know what I'm saying? Like if you ain't bullshitting the people, if you keeping it real with the people, then what's the risk? So what Pirate said again, I think that's interesting about politics. Everybody say politics is boring. Yeah, politics is boring if they not gonna have real debates. Like, yeah, you want me to pick you, and you want me to pick you, and you got Megan, and you got this one and that one, and like, I don't care about who you know. I don't care about how popular you are. This is the difference between a popular vote and an electoral vote. The popular voters so Michael Jackson wouldn't be president. Right, the electoral is supposed to say, okay, we are responsible for what they vote says. We'll lean this way or that way because of whatever. So yeah, the person that's at risk is the one that really ain't going back or have intention to do what they really saying. Some people
who is that, Breezy? Who's bullshitting?
To be honest, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who bullshit. That's for the people to decide. But I think that in debating topics versus one another, that's where the people should decide. Like, this is the dude had real issues that pressed the prime minister, right? That's real shit. Case in point, you put them in the same situation where the people they've got the debaters or the politicians that, you know what I'm saying, trying to win, and they have topics and they say, oh, all right, this and that. Can they do that? I mean, is that something that they can do? Or I don't know, man. I'm just saying, if that was in politics, then we would actually see the people will actually see who's articulating what they're going to do best about the situation and kind of giving people step by step. I think not the fans part, the people will be more engaged into politics because they see both contestants debating the topics versus each other. Like, make that regular, make what I'm saying, make debates great again, whatever y'all want to say.
Make debates great again. Yeah,
definitely. I can really get behind that.
Yeah, man. The way I look at it, like I love politics. I love sports, and so the presidential election for me for the last 40 years, it's almost like the Olympics. It comes around every 4 years, and I get hyped. I can remember the election cycle and the debate cycle going all the way back to 84. And it was exciting. But now it seems like we're at a time. It's imagine like if the Olympics comes up. And you're all hyped for the Olympics. You turn on the TV, and instead of the 100-meter race, you just see like some guy step out of a room, and he says, "Oh, this guy won from Nigeria," and then he walks back in the room. I'm like, "What the fuck, man? I want to see the race here. I'm here to like I don't want to just tune in and have you tell me the results, man. I want to see these people in action."
Right. Definitely. Easy. What about you? What do you think about that? Who do you think has the most to lose, the most to gain by getting in front of these cameras and having debates and interviews, and even if we could do like a open questions from the crowd and whatnot? Who has the most to lose, most to gain?
In this debate coming up right here, I think Kamala has more for advantage, like a more to gain, because you already know like the media is already kind of pushing for her already. You already know how like the Democrat do. They already going to control media waves, so like they're going to put their coverage towards her more. And I think she'll be more for a better debater than Donald Trump in like a head-to-head debate. But like answering live questions and like doing an interview, I think Kamala has a lot to lose right there. And I think their team recognizes that and they shy away from that, especially from the fact that since you became a new nominee for the presidential election, you only had one interview. Like, that's insane. That's kind of insane right there. Like, so I think the team even recognized that she do have something to lose in like an interview. If they can't control an interview 100% and use a credible source that could put the facade that they're not being used or being controlled, if they can't like control the interview and they have like an unpredictable outside person that could be credible as well and could boost her up as well, but unpredictability, they don't want that right there, because I think there's some questions that she might. I mean, she is a good, like, she could debate, but like for like answering like questions and like dealing with like problems, like if a regular person come with a question, no, she gonna tap around that. That's gonna be evident, and I think her team recognizes that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just say it straight. Ox, I think if you put Kamala on Fox for a half hour straight,
yeah,
she would crumble.
You think so?
So bad. I know it. I think
Kamala, I think she'll stand tall.
God bless you.
I got I mean, we all know I don't favor either one of these candidates, but I think she could stand tall over there behind enemy lines, though.
You think so?
Yeah, for sure. I think she got it. Let's keep it
I
moving.
wish it would happen. I wish it would happen.
Right. Speaking of Democrats versus Republicans, let's go to this clip from none other than Ronald Reagan himself. Y'all ready for a joke?
Did you hear the story? About the kid who was outside the Democratic fundraiser selling kittens. When the people came out from the fundraiser, he was holding up the kittens and he was saying, buy a Democrat kitten. Well, a couple of weeks later, the Republicans held a fundraiser in the same place. And when they came out, there was the same kid with the kittens. And he said, buy a Republican kitten. And one of the members of the press who'd seen him there 2 weeks before said, wait a minute, kid, you were selling these kittens the last time as Democrat kittens. How come the Republican kittens now? Kid says, because now they got their eyes open.
It says that this joke aged well.
Yeah.
How so?
I mean, I'd love we need to have a Ronald Reagan episode, Ox.
Yeah,
I don't know if I could do that, Pirate.
You don't want to.
You might have to make that happen, Alex.
You want to make some waves? We got to have a Ronald Reagan episode.
Oh man.
Use the AI. The AI know how to fucking
look. I know. I've came up here on YouTube and I've said some things. I've said some true things. I've said some bad things. I've said some real things. So I might have made up a story once or twice. But risking letting the people think I support Ronald Reagan in any way, shape, or form is something I'm not willing to risk.
I understand that there are a lot of people who are very, very anti-Ronald Reagan these days. I do understand that.
If my mama caught wind of that, Pirate,
that's why I would love to have a discussion. I think it would be a fascinating discussion. The good old 80s.
Yo, real quick, the man didn't even get to the joke. He just said, "You want to hear a joke?" They all started cheering and laughing already.
They
what type of, the pull that man had was insane. He had to you know how you're an entertainer, you have to pause like, "Yo, get this," and everybody's still clapping. Like you gotta wait. Yo, the man said, "Y'all got a joke." Yo,
I want to know this. I'm gonna name 4 people. I'm gonna name four presidents.
Okay.
Who had more aura?
Yeah.
JFK, Ronald Reagan, Bill Clinton, or Barack Obama?
I'll let our guest can go first.
It's a toss-up between Bill and from what the fuck I just saw Ronald right there, boy. Because what? What? Yeah,
what
that's
you
what
think, Breezy?
I think it's a difference between the president and the prime minister, and I ain't gonna lie, those are 4 good, you know what I'm saying, choices you gave us. You know what I mean? That's not an easy multiple question. I think all of them, you know what I mean, had they different, you know what I mean, things they had about them that you could see, you know what I'm saying, they was the man for the job. But you could see the before and after and how it all put stress on those men, you know what I mean? The job put stress on those men. You know, I think, yeah, you know what I mean? You see what happened. I think they tried to kill Ronald Reagan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he got shot.
I think he just took 3 to the chest.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know what I mean? So, you know, thank God they never tried to kill Barack Obama, to my knowledge, you know what I'm saying? And Bill Clinton, they didn't try to kill him. And to be honest with you, the media, like as a man with him, that, you know what I mean, he had a little, you know what I'm saying, a situation with Monica Lewinsky. You know, I wasn't really that mad at it, you know what I mean? Like for real, like this is what his knock was. And then when you get into statistics about you know, the other things that may have went wrong far as the incarcerations and stuff like that, then you know what I'm saying, that was kind of a knock on him. But just being popular, him playing jazz, and my thing is, when you say, or I'm like connected to the people, like that whole jazz thing Bill Clinton was doing, playing the saxophone. I don't know if he really played the saxophone or if that was just a visual prop, you know what I mean? But you know, I never did before and after. I never seen somebody pull out a flute or a guitar. Is the next president gonna have a guitar? You feel what I'm saying? That's aura type shit. You playing the sax in your spare time? Like I'm just saying, Barack, I just feel like I don't know, man. He was he was cool, you know what I'm saying? But he took a lot of criticism because I guess African Americans felt like he was going to do more, but you know what I mean. I don't want to mention him on his page. I heard what you said about Umar Johnson. That story is crazy, yo. But not
Oh man, I got to tell y'all. For me, it's definitely between JFK and Bill Clinton. I don't know who I'm going with, but it's definitely between one of them two.
I think you did well picking the four most charismatic presidents of the last 60 years.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I got to go with the Gipper. I got to go with the Gipper.
We don't know who the Gipper is.
You don't know. That's Ronald.
Right.
That's Ronald Reagan.
That's Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
I told you.
Ronald had aura though. Everybody knows this. We know this.
He had amazing aura.
Did you see that poll? Did you?
He was called the Great Communicator. He was the Great Communicator.
Yo, I got to your point. Yeah. They still talking about some of his old work, even to this day. Like, yo, it's holding true to now. Yo.
Yo, hold on. I got a question for Private real quick. Far as, and I'll ask from his day, right? Ronald Reagan, from his day till now, what party has won the most from then till now? Not necessarily a number count, but just what party?
Presidencies?
Yeah, Democrat or Republican?
Yeah, Biden made it very close. I think it's the Republicans have a slight lead. So let's go 8 years Reagan, 12 Bush, then 12 to 8 with Clinton, then 20 to 8 with Bush Jr., then 20 to 16 with Obama, then 24 to 16 with Trump, then 24 to 20. So Republicans 24 years, Democrats 20 years. So very close.
Yeah, it is.
Back and forth.
Yeah,
it's shifted because like for the first half of my life, the president was mainly a Republican. Because Reagan and Bush took up 12 years, then there was 8 years of Clinton, then there was 8 more years of Bush Jr. So I went through a 20-year to 8-year span of Republicans to Democrats. But then since Obama and Biden have gone to tighten, made it closer, pretty much half and half.
No, that's what I appreciate that. I ain't know that. That's why I asked for it. Yo, but yo, Easy, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, bro. What's up?
You did you answer the question about the aura?
No, yeah. I answered. I was stuck between two. Pause, but I was stuck between Bill Clinton and Ronald Reagan. Like, bro, listen, man. Like, I'm not too familiar with Ronald Reagan. I gotta really go back but if I could look at that right there. Before you tell the joke, I could clearly hear at least 4 people in the crowd laughing hysterically. Whoa.
I mean, that it's so. We really got to have the Ronald Reagan episode because I wish Ox, are you there? I wish you could pull up the electoral map. Do you understand? Reagan, his second term, he won 49 out of 50 states.
Wow.
So there are 500. There are 538 electoral votes, right? He won 525 to 13.
Wow. What state was that? That
Minnesota. Minnesota was the only state that didn't vote for him.
Oh wow, Minnesota.
And they just barely didn't vote for him, but the whole country voted for him. Every single state. Yeah, and it's.
Do you know the popular vote on Pirate? Do you know what the popular vote was?
The exact number, no, but I know he blew him away. It was like 61% or 62% to like 37 or something. It was it was the biggest blowout of the last like 80 years, you know. Since FDR was the last president to have anything close. But Yeah, Reagan won 49 out of 50 states. So it's so interesting to see how he's really demonized by a lot of young people these days that I see. I find it very interesting.
Yeah. Okay, let me run down. We got a couple more clips left. Let's see about this next one.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Let's hear what Sleepy Joe got for us. Haven't seen this guy in months.
Yeah, right. Where you been at?
my investments, through my investments, the most significant climate change law ever. And by the way, it is a $369 billion bill. It's called the. We should have named it what it was, but at any rate.
So real quick, because it says Justin.
That's the clip.
Yeah, that's the clip. But it says President Biden admits that the Inflation Reduction Act was not actually about inflation after he started ranting without the teleprompter. Biden said the Inflation Reduction Act was actually about funding climate change efforts and said the act should have actually been named something different. Through my investments, the most significant climate change law ever, and by the way, it is a $369 billion bill. It's called the Inflation Reduction Act. We should have named it what it was. So, okay.
Is this man drunk?
Nah, he's senile.
Drunk? Nah, he's just his brain don't work too good.
So
it is a crazy thing just to say offhand. Like,
right. I mean, but is he admitting to some wrongdoing, or is he just saying that there was more to the bill than meets the eye?
Well, all these things are always in some gray area, right, Ox? I mean, it's left to interpretation. From my point of view, yeah, he's admitting to wrongdoing. But it's the whole climate thing, the green New Deal type stuff. We should go into that next episode or something when we got more time. But it's the whole climate thing. Save the world. The world's gonna burn up in the next 10 years. We have to redo industry and energy and everything else, and the government needs to lead the charge with regulations and subsidies for green energy. And I mean, this is a really big thing. That again, I think a lot of people either don't think about it, or they think about it on a pretty superficial level. But
right.
So
and we got minor in the chat saying like bills always have extra stuff in them, and that's what I was assuming too. Or that's what I was thinking too. So it's like, is he kind of just saying like there was other stuff in the bill, and this actually was affecting more than what the bill's title was?
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, that was a very extensive bill that had like all kinds of things in it. But it's interesting for him to. It just kind of, to me, it kind of points to the whole marketing aspect of politics, where when you're trying to pass the bill, you market it as the Inflation Reduction Act, because inflation was so big and such an issue at that point when you pass the bill. And then a year or two later, you say, "Oh well, we really should have called it the Green Energy Bill because it's really a climate change bill." And there's a little bit of truth in all of that, because it was an extensive bill that had all kinds of aspect, as most of these big bills that they pass. Everybody wants to get their hand in it and get something out of the pot. But they were saying that a lot of people were saying that at the time when the bill passed, that it's like, hey man, you're just kind of profiting off of the fever over inflation at the moment to pass this bill that has a lot of other things in it, that just kind of give the government more control over regulations and kind of steering the economy and the energy sector.
Yeah. Well, speaking of inflation, we have our last clip is actually a clip about inflation. We'll get to that in a second. What's good, Minor?
What's going on, Ox? What's going on, Pirate?
Hey, how you doing?
Man, enjoying the show as always.
Right on. Well, we're about to play this other clip about inflation, but before I do that, if you got anything you want to speak on, anything you want to get off, or thoughts, opinions, questions, anything.
Just to kind of piggyback off of what Pirate was saying about Reagan, a lot of people don't remember Reagan was, when you talk about charisma in the 80s, he was at the pinnacle. You think essentially Ronald Reagan is the equivalent of like Ryan Gosling being the president.
Kind of.
That's essentially it.
He was an actor. He
Yeah.
was an actor, way back in the day when he was young.
Yeah. So it's like if you age up Ryan Gosling and make him the president, that's who he was. Charismatic. And if you look at you can tell how charismatic somebody is if you look at their wives. All of the wives that we talked about are extremely charismatic, except for probably Bill's wife, Clinton.
Yeah.
I never understood what he saw in Hillary, but that's beyond me.
Yeah, he sucked up all the charisma in that family, right?
Yeah, even the daughter doesn't have any of the charisma. I was like, golly. So,
yeah.
You thought Chelsea would have a little swag on her.
Nah, nothing.
Yeah, she fell on the mother's side, it looks like.
Yeah.
But then he's also we know that Bill Clinton was like sleeping with every waitress in town too. So it's not like
easy. My wife was watching a documentary about Hillary Clinton, and it showed this picture of Bill like way back in like the 70s, and he had this like big old hair, and he had what's the singer? The singer from the Doobie Brothers. He had one of those kind of beards.
Oh, Michael
yeah.
What's his name? Michael McDonald?
Yeah.
Michael McDonald. He had like a Michael McDonald beard and big old Michael McDonald hair. He like I could tell he was that dude back in the day. So
yeah, I can't deny Clinton had charisma, man. He always has.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, well, let's get to this clip. It's a clip about inflation. So let's get into this.
Yeah, I love this clip, and let me just say before this clip, like I wish this is the kind of stuff that we heard just daily, just coming out of politicians and people running for president and everything.
Right.
Yes.
What are the steps that need to be taken to fix the damages done to inflation?
First and foremost, stop the overspending. Inflation, high taxes, deficits, high interest rates are all symptoms. The disease is overspending. When governments spend too much money, there's only three ways to get it. One is to raise your taxes. The other is to borrow, which means that they'll tax you more later on. And the third way is to print money. Now, printing money seems like a painless way to pay for things, but it's very simple. If you have 10 apples and $10 in the economy, it's a bucket apple. If you double the number of dollars in the economy to 20, you still only have 10 apples. You're not twice as rich. It's just that each apple costs twice as much. And that is a tax on the working people because it chews up the purchasing power of your paycheck, only to pay for excessive government spending, and it balloons the asset values of the billionaires. So it's a real transfer from the have-nots to the have-yots. Inflation is the worst and most immoral tax. It always results from government creating cash. Our government has created about $700 billion of cash in the last 3 years. So we used to have $1.8 trillion of bills, coins, and bank deposits. That was about 3-4 years ago. Now it's up to 2.5 trillion. So that's extra cash, but the economy has only grown by 4%. So the real things in the economy have only grown by 4%. The cash has grown by 40. So the money supply is growing 10 times faster than the stuff money buys, which creates a bidding war. And that's what's driving up inflation. We have to cap government spending with a dollar for dollar law that requires my ministers find $1 of savings for every new dollar of spending, so that they go into their departments, find the waste and mismanagement. They want to spend more here, they have to spend less there, or get a bargain here and there to bring both under budget. Then and only then will we stop the money printing, borrowing, and overtaxation and wrestle inflation to the ground. Thank you.
How does that deal with the debt, though?
Well, he's saying that the debt is very much causes inflation. It's kind of a self-fulfilling, just a spiral.
Yeah.
To pay off the debt, you have to print money. You print money, that causes inflation. Increases spending. You spend more. You have to.
Then you take away the spending power of the citizen.
You have to print money. You have to take out more debt. And just also that was in Canada. So the numbers that he was spitting out that was for Canada, but the same principle applies for America or for any other country. And you know, I mean, some people, you might find it dry or boring or, you know, nuts and bolts, but it's like the reality is nuts and bolts, you know, and people get so tied up in just these wanting to hear all the good stuff coming out of your politicians, like, you're great and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And just the fundamental truths and realities of how these things work get so lost in the sauce that, well, you turn around and you got $35 trillion in debt, and somehow the debt is not even. See, now this is another thing that kind of amazes me, because in previous cycles, you go back 8, 12, 16 years, the growing national debt was much more of an actual issue on people's mind and what politicians would have to address. And again, we're living in a world where it's just getting swept under the rug more and more, and everyone's just pretending that this isn't happening, that we're not running in a severe deficit and it's okay, and like the reaper won't come one day. It's scary because I just know that it's not sustainable. It was not like this 15 years ago. We were not spending 17% of our revenue on just paying off interest. Now we are. If that grows to like 25% or 30%, you can have a collapse that I think people in America just aren't ready for acknowledging and dealing with. And it's sad to see that. I don't know.
How do you feel with what I could just said in the chat right here? National debt is a little overrated as long as you can outgrow your debt.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like a MMT theory. It says, don't worry, you can print the money as long as you outgrow the debt. I think that's a dangerous formula to dance with, and I mean, it's somewhat true to some extent, because look right now, you can look at it right now. You can say, look, everything's fine, the world is existing, we have this huge debt and it's existing, but that's because, you know, when you're in the world, there's only the one world to compare it to. So you're looking at what we have right now and you're like, oh, I guess it's fine. But what we have right now is much worse than if we didn't have this 35 trillion in debt. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I mean, you can say this, you know, people everywhere can say, oh, it's all right. You know, I mean, people in the middle of Nazi Germany or in the middle of Stalinistic Russia, there are people who say, you know, it's all right. I wake up and I eat my breakfast and stuff. But that doesn't mean that you haven't made decisions that have made the existence much worse than what it could have been or should have been.
Right.
You know? So I don't want to see us just fall into a third world nation and be like, oh, well, you know, I guess it's all right. We're dealing with it.
Pirate, in your opinion, what would be the fastest way for America to get out of debt?
We need to four-pronged. I would go back to the Reaganomics formula. You have to cut spending. You have to lower the corporate taxes to attract corporations and businesses to America to create jobs.
Bingo.
You have to limit the money supply. And unfortunately, we're at the point where I feel like we have to enact austerity policies. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the term austerity, but it's, unfortunately, some countries have to, just 10 years ago, Ireland, well, 10, 15 years ago, Ireland and Greece had to do it, where they ran their debt up too high. And you just have to, admit that we need to start spending less. I would cut the military budget. That's a huge expenditure. I would cut the military budget.
That is a huge
expense. It's a huge expense. You would have to cut services. I feel like we have to cut services. We have to balance the budget.
I'm saying, like, how much can we trust these people? And we in $35 trillion worth of debt. Like, y'all can't even pay y'all bills, and y'all want us to pay student loans and all this and all that. And y'all got the audacity to charge. Man, it's crazy. Like, they're terrible money managers. The money management of the country is subpar. It's crazy. All these what about all these hedge fund guys? These JP Morgan guys, like they don't know how to balance a checkbook.
They do. Yeah. The government doesn't, and it's like, say you can blame the government, but I feel in the end, when you have a democratic government, your government's going to kind of reflect the will of the people, and if the people eat up the politicians, that all they come with you is what they say they're going to spend the next dollar on, and that's what you're voting for, and you keep voting for the guy who says, "Hey, I'm gonna set up this program for you, and then I'm gonna cut your taxes over here. I'm gonna set up this new program, and then I'm gonna cut your taxes over here." And you keep doing that combination. You can't be too surprised when it adds up to being in a deficit, that you're spending more money than you're taking in. And, people just like kicking the can down. It's like, you kick it down for the next generation. You're like, we'll let our kids deal with that, when the time comes. I like my lifestyle the way it is. I don't want, if anything does change, I want it to change in my benefit.
Right.
And that's kind of the downfall of democracy. That's why a lot of times there is a place for democracy in a republic, but you can never let democracy just run wild, because whenever people are always going to just vote for, give me this, give me that, when you let them. And that's what happens. So how do you instill, in the whole country, a sense of responsibility to ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country? I'm not sure, because that's JFK.
That boy was preaching right there.
Yeah.
And well, y'all, we've reached the 2-hour mark. Appreciate you, Easy and Minor, for riding the rest of the show out with us, man. Appreciate y'all.
Yep.
So
I'm gonna let y'all go. Catch y'all next time.
So salute, y'all.
All right, man.
Later.
Yeah. Well, Pirate, that was another day of us trying to save America.
Another day of trying. It's a tough job we got here. I don't know if you understood the full extent, the ramifications of this this journey to save America.
Right. Well, we will be back next Thursday, same time, same place. Y'all make sure to turn the notification bells on, like this video, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and share the video, man. We got great content over here. We'll check y'all next time. All right, Pirate.
Hey, Ox, when's the next graveyard shift?
It's been a busy week, man. Busy nights. Maybe maybe tomorrow or Saturday though. I'm actually getting prepared to do. I'm preparing my 24-hour. I'm doing a pilothon, so I'm getting ready for a 24-hour stream. So that's what I'm working on right now. So I haven't really done any graveyard shifts. I'm just trying to figure out when I can do that.
Literally 24 hours, no sleep, just
24 hours straight. This will be the third pilothon we've done on this channel.
Well, that sounds cool. All right, I'll keep my eyes open for that then.
Right. Yeah, y'all turn your notifications on. The next podathon is coming soon. But in the meantime, we'll catch you next Thursday.
All right, man. Good luck with that comedy set.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm gonna record that, and if it's good, I'm gonna post it on here.
All right. So if I don't see it, then I'll know what happened.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
All right,
Good stuff. Good stuff. Later.
Big arms and pirates save America. Big arms and pirates chop down cherry tree with George Washington. Big arms and pirates beat the British in Revolutionary War. Big arms and pirates built the Continental Railroad. Big arms and pirates won the Civil War. Big arms and pirates save America. Big arms and pirates discover electricity. Big arms and pirates made the first flying machine. Big arms and pirates saved the world in World War I. Big arms and pirates saved the world in World War II. Big arms and pirates save America. Big arms and pirates marched with Martin Luther King. Big arms and pirates landed on the moon with Neil Armstrong. Big arms and pirates saved America. Big arms and pirates shot guns with Ronald Reagan. Big arms and pirates smoked weed with Bill Clinton. Big arms and pirates played basketball with Barack Obama. Big arms and pirates made money with Donald Trump. Big arms and pirates took naps with Joe Biden. Big arms and pirates save America. Big arms and pirates save America. Big arms and pirates save America. Big arms and pirates save America.
Hey, it's Kelly here, former crack addict, recovery coach, and Life Beyond Sobriety. That is my private online community for people in addiction recovery who want to set big goals now that they're sober and make those goals happen. We learn strategies in weekly live coaching sessions to make those things come true. Go to lifebeyondsobriety.com and check it